Hey everybody, what's up? I got my, I had my Fios repaired for the second time, and someone came out to fix it and said everything was fine, and it turned out, again, it would only work for 2 hours and go out, and I spent 5 hours this week on the phone with Fios. They just suck. The service is great when it works, but if you ever have to get in touch with them or ever try and make any changes on your account, they suck. I've been, like I said, on the phone for hours and hours and hours with hold music, like doo 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 doo. That's the kind of music you want to just take a butter knife and stab yourself in the eye sockets until you're dead. But to only have them hang up on you or tell you that the system is working, you know, that kind of crap. I spent the majority of last evening trying to get in touch with them, and everything. I haven't had Wi-Fi or TV or telephone in going on 4 months now. It's never convenient for Fios to come out and see you. Every time I reschedule, they want to schedule like 2 weeks, 3 weeks away. You know, it's a joke. But the service is great as long as nothing ever goes wrong, or you never need to talk to someone, or you ever have to change your bill. But that's neither here nor there. So anywho, got to do another product review here. I haven't done one in a while. This is a Radioshack analog AM/FM radio. This is like the kind of radio your grandparents used to take out to the lake and plop on the picnic table, and it would run all day. Radioshack, amazingly as it sounds, doesn't sell any radios anymore. It's just, you go in there, you can get a phone, a camera, a whole bunch of like junk. You used to be able to buy parts for radios there. You could build your own radios, or you could buy speakers and build your own stereo systems. Hence the name Radioshack. But that's just not a fact anymore. You go in there and it's just wasted space. That's all I can say. Wasted space. Trying to sell you satellite system or telephones or a robot that goes, you get the idea. So I bought this one online. You can still get it online. When you used to get these kind of radios are meant to last. You would go to, this is going to sound strange to all you young whippersnappers out there, you would go to, there wasn't many stores. You would go to Montgomery Ward's or Consumers Merchandise. These were catalog stores. So you would go into the store, and there would actually be no products in the store. It was an empty store with little desks and a big thick catalog. And Sears used to be like the same way in some areas of the store, where you go in there, you flip through the catalog, and you find what you want, right? And then you fill out a little form, and then you drop it in a little slot, and someone takes that piece of paper, goes in the back, pulls out what you want, and brings it out to you. It was actually kind of neat. It was fun because you never knew what was going to come through that door. But Sears used to sell the Silvertone, which was another great solid-state radio. Sony made a few table radios, but this one, I actually really like it. It's been about 5 months, and I bought it for my mother for Mother's Day, or she said she wanted a radio, but it had to be low tech. I mean, it doesn't need to have a margarita mixer on there, iPhone charger, and be able to heat your Tostina's pizza rolls. And for all like the techie guys like, inadequate jimping, poor quality steel, get over yourself. It's just a radio. Use it throughout the hurricane. Basic metal. Shocking to find metal on something these days. Super basic, easy to use. Flip it over. It's quality made, I gotta say that. You have a cord in here, you have batteries, and you got a little ribbon. This was $13. 13 bucks. I picked this up on eBay for. New. It is made in China. What does it say on here? Custom manufactured in China for Radioshack Corporation, Fort Worth, Texas, under their specifications. Radio Shack realistic radios used to actually be really good radios. Of course, they're importing the manufacturing of it, but it's a quality product. So you have this the little antennae that comes out, and it doubles as a weather radio. So you just turn it on. There's a knob on the side.
With a dominant period of 12 seconds. Light freezing spread likely early this morning.
Now the weather radio, it does sound a little fuzzy, but when it comes to the regular radio,
SmilesNJ.com or text Teeth to 45911 to have all.
Now the thing about the funny thing about realistic stereos, when you would go to Radio Shack and buy them, they were very expensive, and they weren't like great looking. They looked like they rolled right out of the 70s, like cheesy wood veneer, just cheese. You could spread it on a cracker. But the thing about Radio Shack stuff and their realistic stuff, they had quality components in them, quality speakers, and like no distortion. Like you can buy like a crappy, I don't even know what they're called. You buy them at Walmart. I think they're like Stylus or APX or something like that. A $20 portable radio. But when you start to turn the volume knob on it, it's all distortion. All you hear is, it sounds like you're talking through a tin can. With the realistic stuff and the Radio Shack stuff, you can turn it up pretty darn high before it starts to distort, but it only distorts a little bit. It only distorts at the very top of the volume. And no one really listens to it like that unless you're in your car and you're all whacked out. But and you got AM. Sometimes I listen to AM because it's different, you know.
I don't know if we end up there. I mean, the Republicans don't really remember how bad '96 was.
That was the thing about the realistic stuff, and from a company that was called Radio Shack. They specialized in radios, CB radios, solid state analog radios, transistor radios, build your own radios. They had solder, tubes, anything you could possibly use for a radio they had, which isn't the case anymore. But I already went over that. This has everything, nothing. You know, it's a radio. It does what it is what it is. It does what it's supposed to do. It actually gets a station. You turn it on, which is another with those cheap radios. You could be sitting there spinning the dial, and all you're going to get is crap. Well, maybe there's crap on the radio, but you turn it on, it actually gets a radio station, and it sounds pretty good. I mean, it's not like a $46,000 hi-fi, so you can't say that you expect that kind of sound. But I've already taken it out fishing a few times. Had it on the dock during the storms. It was a really nice find for that kind of money, you know. And it looks like it's easy to work on if something goes wrong, but I really don't anticipate anything going wrong. So that will be my product review. I imagine, well, Fios says I'll have cable. Fios, oh, that's a dirty word for Fios. Fios says I will have my service restored on the 16th. That's pretty nice of them. I've been trying to get it fixed now for 3 weeks, so, you know, well, I guess you got to work with them. You know, they do all that advertising, but it just seems like they kind of fall short. I won't even say the word customer service because their customer service is so horrible, and the people are such idiots you talk to on the phone. I thought at one point my eyes were going to shoot out of my head, the stupidity out of this kid over the phone, and I'm just trying to explain to him, I have not had service in 4 months. You think maybe at some point within the 4 months it would be convenient for you to come over and, I don't know, fix it? I mean, you charge me $125 per month for service that doesn't work. And when I say I want to schedule service, you tell me, well, we've got a lot of service calls, so, you know, we're going to probably have to do it in a week or two or something like that. That's great. Love you, Fios. Later, guys.